Okay. We're really curious to know about several people that keep getting asked in private sessions, and I would like to be able to just clarify them all together today in one perspective. And we really want to know about their agenda for humanity, and are they really trying to help people shift into the fifth dimension? And do they even know what the fifth dimension looks like with the information you've been giving us? So first of all, I'd like to understand, there is a Simon. What can you tell us about him, please?
Yeah, Simon, we see Simon Parks. We heard your conversation earlier too. He is wanting to help humanity. He doesn't know about the information as you do. He doesn't know about the new Earth. We feel like his group is somewhat a little bit fear-based, and at times they're not necessarily they're saying they want to connect to 5D, but they actually are somewhat marinating themselves in the 3D at the same time. And he does have good intentions for humanity, but he is not he's not getting the bigger picture. So he is there for the people. Like, we sort of see the the Q group has been very helpful, to get all these people together, but at the same time they're all kind of the same in a way. They are just focusing so much on the crimes against humanity. They're not able to get out of that and move past it and just accept the bigger picture, like you and your group can. They can't see that all of this was purposeful, and that that those children are on their own life contracts, and that they agreed to come here and do this so that everyone in the world could get to the point where they could shift. So he is trying to help in his own way, but he is not aware of the bigger picture. So in a way, some of those people, there are people in his group specifically that do want to have a bigger mindset and do want to move kind of away from that, but they're being kind of dissuaded and held into like a lower frequency than they could be reaching if they were to, like, say, move on from the group.
And so is his life contract and purpose and mission this lifetime to help people be ready for the fifth dimension, or is he doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing?
He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's more so, we're not going to say he's getting people ready for fifth dimension. We think he's more so about sort of waking some of those lower people up to a lot of the truths that are out there, if that makes sense. We're not seeing him. He's not one of the bigger players in trying to get people ready to shift to New Earth.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of being fear-based, I mean, is this helping humanity, or is this, seems like it's kind of triggering them? Is he a stepping stone from getting out of fear base?
Yeah, he's a stepping stone. It's like, so, like, even for yourself, like, say, or an Amy, like, we can use her as an example. She needed to see all of that stuff. Like, for her, it's more so Charlie Ward, who I think you're also going to ask about. Then she really enjoyed watching Charlie Ward for the longest time before she found your videos, and she she saw that Charlie Ward is aware of the is aware of the fifth dimension, and somewhat aware of purposes for people and that kind of thing. But at the same time, again, they're just stepping stones, right? They're there to wake people up to some of what's going on, and give them the truths and the information that they need as a stepping stone for them to go and do their own research and find groups like yours, or we should say channels like yours, that would give them the bigger perspective. It's a stepping stone for the people that are really ready to know the entire truth. And at the same time, though, they all have good intentions for humanity. They are all trying to help in the way that they are able, and they are all fulfilling their life contracts the way that they are supposed to be. but they're not meant to have like the whole truth. They're not meant to have the whole truth about the new earth and exactly what's going on, because they wouldn't be able to effectively do what they're doing now if they knew that. They need to have the bigger subscribers, and they're reaching like a whole lot of people who really just need what's the word, like they are bringing people together in their own way, even though it is a little bit fear-based, more so with the Simon Parks group. Charlie Ward is trying to keep people out of fear more. He is trying to get them to realize that there is a bigger purpose to everything, and that they do just need to, hold on to their hats and wait. But again, they're all kind of promoting fear, even with 5G, because I know that is a big thing, and a lot of these people are selling, like 5G devices to keep people from, getting this 5G sickness or whatever. And it is, again, it is, it is almost counterproductive in a way. So, like, we just want people to use them and then, go and do their own research and get up to, doing more research about the shift and stuff like that as they're ready for it. But some of these people are never gonna, they're never gonna be able to listen to any more than a Charlie Ward or a Simon Parks or, Robert Steele. Robert Steele, he's really stuck in crimes against humanity. That is his whole entire focus. He has a whole group that is just about and multiple books about the pedophilia and stuff like that. And he is just, again, he's there to wake people up to the truth. And then once they've seen that from him, they can really move on from him, because he's not really got much else to offer besides that. That's all he focuses on.
Thank you. And when you were saying before about the 5G sickness, what's really going on there when people think that they've got the 5G sickness?
Yeah, well, there really isn't any, and yourself, there really isn't any 5G sickness. We have, we have taken all the danger away from 5G a long time ago, but there are many, many conspiracy people that do believe that there is 5G sickness, and they can lay the map down, and they can tell the areas that have 5G and they have the most COVID and that kind of thing. And it doesn't, again, it's just another thing. It's just another thing that has been brought up to try to promote this fear agenda, like this fear-based agenda, right? And if people want to marinate themselves in fear, they can be scared of everything all day long. The 5G is just one of the many things that they could be afraid of. And we, in general, just want people to get to the point where none of this triggers them anymore. That is the ultimate goal. If people could just release fear and judgment and just be in unconditional love, we would all be able to shift. We would all be able to shift tomorrow if we could just get rid of those things. So, there are all these people who just want to, keep people in fear, and they themselves don't want to be alone there. And that's partly why they're doing it, because they don't want to be the only person that's scared. So they're trying to, pull other people into the fear with them, so that they're, a group. And we don't want, we just want everybody to be able to trust the words that we're giving you, which is that we have your back, and we are here, and we are watching and monitoring everything, and we are making sure that you're all protected and that you're all safe. We're not allowing anything to happen that isn't meant to happen. It's all just part of, trying to wake up these last few sleeping people with whatever it may be, right? And yeah, we just really are really trying to get these people to learn the lesson that they don't need to be in fear. And we're hoping that, by them, seeing this stuff and looking for their own information, that they will believe what they see, and that they will be able to move forward on not being afraid anymore, if that makes sense. We think we might have got sidetracked there.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. And so there's people who, keep telling everyone that they've got, all this 5G and Wi-Fi, damage done to them, and they're really super sensitive to it. And, they're talking a lot about their symptoms. What's really going on there for them?
Yeah, again, like a lot of them may be even ascension symptoms for a lot of people we see, because even people who are still not processing at as high of a level as you and your group are, they are still, people are doing inner work even if they're not aware they're doing inner work, because we're forcing them to right now. With raising the vibrations of the planet, everyone is having to process something. We are bringing things up to them, be it in their dreams or just, with signs and stuff like that. Some people are saying it more than others, but some are doing it and they're not even really aware of it. So there are all kinds of ascension symptoms out there, at different levels for various people. And you guys are more aware of them. So you think you'll see them. There's also upgrades, because we are doing upgrades, for every single human that is going to be shifting. We're there giving them upgrades whenever we can, because we really need everybody to be at the right at the right point and ready when we have the shift coming. And because we see it coming so quickly for you now, in the next month or two, we really have to we're really doing a lot of work on people as a whole, even if they're not aware of it. So a lot of these symptoms that they're having are brought on by that. People also may also be having symptoms because that's part of their life contract. It could be to do with something else entirely. It could be to do with their diet. It could be to do with the fact that a lot of people aren't exercising as much as they used to, with the lockdowns and stuff like that. People aren't getting outside as much. So many factors to contribute to why they're getting these symptoms, and they really have nothing to do whatsoever with Wi-Fi or 5G. But they're just wanting an easy. A lot of people are just wanting to blame it on something, rather than face the facts that it's something going on, within their own body that's just unique to them, right?
And what is your perspective on these light workers that are selling these products to protect people from the 5G? They're really expensive, and it just seems like they're, pushing snakeskin oil. How do you perceive that from your dimension?
Yeah, well, there's two. Like, I mean, we see some of them. Some of them legitimately do think that they're good, and some of them do legitimately think that there is a threat from the 5G. So they feel like they're actually offering something that is protecting people. So we do see that their intentions are good, even though the products aren't necessary. And then there's others that, they do. There are a lot of people trying to say make a living off of doing these videos and whatnot, and they're wanting to sponsor themselves with ads so that they can afford to do the videos. So they're trying to pick products that are that they feel like are kind of going against the mainstream. So they're trying to pick some of these 5G products, and like, again, we don't see them really being malicious with it. Like, they do think that they're trying to help, but we would really like them to connect in with us a little bit better and see that these products aren't necessary, so that they could, in turn, maybe promote another product, because we do still want the people to make their videos. If they're helping people, even if it's just on a like smaller stepping stone level, then we want them to be able to continue. But we feel like they could, be finding other products if they were to tap in a little bit more to us and, get the message that that there is no danger from 5G. They could be, promoting something else that could be totally helpful to people instead.
Like something really wacky, like self-empowerment.
Yeah, that's right. Like self-empowerment, because that is really the lesson. And you'll see that there's so many people in your group, and just in your group right now, that are going through this lesson of empowerment, because that is really what we're wanting everyone to focus on right now. And it isn't just your group, it's the whole of humanity. We're really wanting everyone to empower themselves right now. that is even just the vibrations that we're pushing down on you guys right now. We're raising you up to a level that is making people really want to empower themselves right now.
Well, that's good news, because it seems like a lot of people want to just keep staying in the fear, and listening to these influencers who are still telling them about the fear and not giving them a bigger perspective and a purpose from a metaphysical perspective. You'd think that spirituality, you would be able to tap in and have true higher dimensional beings like yourselves connect and help us and support us. It would be so weird for a spiritual group to not tap in to the higher dimensions and ask for help for us to be able to process things better. It just does not seem to be a real, it doesn't make sense to me why. I really wanted to know whether it was their egos or their personal limitations and blocks. So can you, just out of interest, will Simon be going to the New Earth?
Simon is, Simon, we do see Simon as going to New Earth. He is, like I said, he is fulfilling his purpose, and he isn't really meant to have the knowledge of the New Earth. He does have some blocks, and he does have some limitations, and he is also a little bit based in ego. It's really hard for them not to be, because they kind of rose up overnight. And we say this as all of these, sort of similar type people. They went from, 2 followers to, hundreds of thousands of followers, and all these groups around the world and everything. And it's really hard for them not to get into the ego somewhat, because although they do have, humanity's best interest at heart, they still are, sort of gurus in their own right, or they've become feeling like they are that. And they don't want, at the same time as they want to help people, they don't really want the people to step out of the limitations that they have kind of set for them. So in a way, he's kind of holding his group members back a little bit. If they were to just kind of let them, just connect as they want without all these limitations and boundaries and stuff, they all would be able to get to where they're actually needing to be. So we actually see some of the more advanced beings in the groups getting frustrated and either leaving, or some of the more ego-based members, kind of almost kicking out some of the members that aren't, going along in line with what they're wanting.
So the leaders in the group need to be more the best and can't have anyone outshine them. That doesn't seem like teamwork, or that doesn't seem like a collective to me.
No, it's not. And we don't even see it being so much Simon Parks, because he obviously can't oversee all of these little groups, right? So it's a lot more the leaders of the smaller groups, and some of them have just gotten kind of out of hand, right? Their ego is kind of out of hand, and they're sort of like putting off this this persona of being these really enlightened, light workers, but at the same time they're not, because they're really blocked. They're the most blocked people of all, like, and they're actually like sort of almost doing a disservice to some of the other members, because it should be all about free ideas, free thoughts, and helping one another, supporting one another, and getting past all of that, that fear-based mentality, and even looking more at the metaphysical, approach, and, learning how to tap in on their own and stuff like that. And, just being basically a support to know that they're not alone in their thoughts. Right. But at the same time, like they're kind of telling people almost what to think and what to do. They're almost, they're almost doing a disservice to the groups, because they're holding people back, and they're trying to almost keep people from, connecting with other people who are getting frustrated with this as well. And so we really see other groups more like what your group is like, being more beneficial for humanity as a whole than these sort of groups there where they're where they're really trying to put so much control in. It's almost like they're almost helping the dark side agenda, even though we don't have anything to worry about from that, but it's almost like they're promoting that sort of agenda, even though they're claiming to be light workers, right? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, they seem to be dramatizing and keep repeating all the negative. We already know that there is a lot of control and manipulation, but they keep seeming to just tell us about it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, they're not allowing any growth. Like they're not allowing, like, we want people to be aware of the fear, and we want people to be aware of the agenda of control and how things were supposed to be able to, or how things were going to play out had the dark side, prevailed. But the dark side has not prevailed, and the dark side is not going to prevail because they are already gone. So we really want people to just see it all for what it is, see the facts of it, and then move on from there, right? And put themselves in, be concentrating more on their own inner work and their own spirituality and their growth and how they can help humanity and how they can be an asset to humanity. We're not wanting them to, hold people down, hold people back, and hold people into a sort of a negative holding pattern where they're just going around and around in circles and they're not getting anywhere. And these groups are getting very frustrated by people like yourself, Joe, that want to jump out of that and jump forward. And you're not only trying to help yourself, you're trying to help all these other people spring forward as well out of that holding pattern. And they're getting annoyed at it because they're not wanting any growth to happen that isn't directly related to them at their level and at their pace, right? They're not wanting the group to exceed their own limitations, right? So they're actually holding these people back in a way. And so we would just encourage, the people that feel like they're being held back in that group to get out of that group and, find other, other people that they can connect with that are more, more on the same path that they are.
Yeah, thank you. It just confuses me when there are spiritual groups that have exclusions to each other versus inclusion. I thought we were supposed to have, include everyone and be unconditional loving beings. All that basic stuff that, that have been repetitively told to us in spirituality, and, it's just basic common sense. And yet right now, even though we are under the illusion of, being at the war with the dark side, that nonsense, like we should stop feeling so vulnerable to all of this that keeps being thrown in our faces, because that's what's keeping people stuck. And that's what
it is. It's not helping at all. It's very counterproductive. And it is a bit frustrating. Not that we get frustrated, but it is a bit frustrating to see because we're really like wanting people to use this, like we said, as a stepping stone and then not get too caught up in it. And we had high hopes for the groups at first because they were, they were moving forward and they were getting people to see, but now they're kind of stuck at that point, right? And instead of them opening the groups to everyone, they're making it this exclusive thing that you have to, apply for and get approved. And they're taking forever to get the groups going. They need to be faster. People need the help now. People need the connections now. People need to be able to move forward faster, right? Because everything is going so fast and we want humanity to shift so fast. We don't want, we don't want these, it's purposeful in a way. We don't want, say, like Amy and yourself being tied down. We know that you're trying to help the people in the groups, but they don't want to like invite just random people into their events. They want to, handpick these certain people that are going to promote their same agenda, right? So we want you guys to focus on other groups like your group, right? Where it's just, more enlightened people, more empowered people coming and bringing, supporting each other and really unconditionally loving each other and getting to the point where we need, humanity to be enough of humanity to shift, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Absolutely. Well, it brings me to a question, because I felt like my spiritual team were pushing me to join that group, to be able to add, you know, my frequency and vibration and love, and just support people by, you know, not actually being a real active member, but just being there and holding space for New Zealand in a more direct space. So I was very confused of the events that unfolded.
Yes, you definitely were, and we definitely were supporting you to go to be in that group at that time, because things were completely different back then than they are now, right? Time goes so quickly now, but at this point that group is almost like holding you back now, right? So you've done all that you can do with that group now, so we're wanting you to focus your efforts on other things now. We feel like you have reached the people that you were meant to be, and you've given energy where it was needed in the past. But now at this point, because of the coordinator being so negative and being so controlling, she's not going to allow you to help anyone else at this point. So better to take your efforts and, you know, place them elsewhere at this point.
Was this a contract between her and I for her to be able to have an opportunity for extra growth?
Yes, yes. And we do see that she's going to realize, you know, once you're not in the group anymore, just how much energy you were contributing to the group, and how much you're, you know, how much you were contributing to the group. And she's going to realize that. And we have a feeling that she will be contacting you actually with a totally different message here very soon.
Okay, well, you know, I'm not going to hold my breath, but, you know, I really hope she's not doing this and disempowering other people, because, you know, I love my country. I want to support everyone as much as I can. Well, I can't actually do it physically with every single individual, but I'm learning through the sessions that you've been providing us to create my imaginary space and put all of my hopes and wishes and love and intention to all of humanity, to be able to, oh, I feel like I'm helping because I'm squeezing out all the darkness and just squeezing love into you. If you feel like you've had pressurized hug from anyone, it's me. You're welcome.
Yeah, it is making such a difference. And your group, you know, you're all the people who watched, say, the video that you placed the other day about the 20th and what's coming up. The energy of the planet is really going to take off here after this worldwide rally, between the actual people going to the rally, who are going to see that they're not alone, and that there are so many other people who are like-minded. It is going to, that's one way that it's going to really help. And just the collective energy of all those people being on the same page at the same day. And as well, all the people who are tapping in from your group and other groups as well are going to just, you know, we're just so excited to see how the vibrations of the planet are going to raise with all these activities and everything going on.
So exciting. I just love everyone coming together and feeling the support. Every time I tap into the energy of just being at one of those events, it's so overwhelming. I just want to cry with this pride and this joy and this passion for humanity. So I try not to tap into that because I don't want to keep crying, but it's very emotionally, it's so pure. It's unconditional love, which is so overwhelming. The tears come. So anyway, so thank you so much for that. And in terms of, because we were going to ask, well, I was going to ask about a person called Sasha. What is his agenda for humanity?
Sasha is the most spiritually awake of all of the people that you've mentioned. So he is well aware of, we see him being aware of New Earth. He's just not wanting to talk about it because he knows that he's not going to be able to get his whole audience on board with that they're not ready for that yet. So he is working in his own way to try to get people ready for the shift.
Nice. Well, because I don't have any time to follow anyone, and so it was very strange. What I've been led to little group wise. So And I keep hearing about these people in sessions because a lot of my clients want to know either why they're not resonating with these people anymore, or, you know, they just want to double check because they still feel like there's something amiss. And so, of course, the subconscious always, you know, spills the beans and tells us everything, which is fantastic because we need to know what we need to be marinating our attention with and our focus and energy, because we should be using great discernment what we are not only putting into our bodies but putting into our minds is super important right now.
Yeah, we just want you guys to know that besides tapping in from us, you can trust the energy that's coming, or not the energy, the information that's coming from Charlie Ward or Robert Steele or Simon Parks. They are all getting really good information as far as their contacts go, you know, say in the military, and you know, the behind the scenes Q and all those kind of people. They're inside contacts. They are in the know. They are getting the information first. They are getting bigger information. There's also 107, and he is really in the inside loop. So he is getting information probably right from Donald Trump, right? So you can check in with them to see what they're saying if you girls are really wanting to know what's going on, because we know that you are. But at the same time, we don't want you to, you know, waste hours and hours and hours watching all their videos. If something really exciting happens, you will definitely know about it. Again, otherwise, we just really don't want you to spend too much time focusing on these people, because they're not telling you anything that's extraordinary or helping, you know, to shift anyone to excuse me, or shift you guys to new earth specifically, because you're not at that level anymore and you don't need those stepping stones, right? They're there for the people who aren't quite there yet. So we want you girls to focus your energy, and you know, if you need to know something, you can always tap in and ask us too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're the first friend we call, shall we say, when we have a curiosity where we want to have it from a bigger perspective. So we really do appreciate you and all your wisdom that you're giving us, because you know, sometimes when we see these big influences, we don't know what their true agenda is, and we know that it can confuse people who are seeking the bigger truth, and it's still not quenching their thirst of information because they've already been overwhelmed with all of the crimes against humanity, and they're still trying to figure out, why is this happening? What's the purpose? What does it all mean? And they just get into that loop of, you know, why am I alive? Why am I here? What's the meaning of my life?
Yeah, that's for sure. And you know that those are big questions that take a long time to answer. You know, it's even you're not going to be able to yeah, we're not going to be able to jump right to that with a lot of people. We're just wanting a lot of people to just even wake up and see that there might be some kind of purpose, that there might not just be you know, straight plain Jane 3D existence, right? Going to work, coming home, you know what I mean, watching Netflix, whatever. We're just trying to get them to see that there's anything else out there, right? Just a little stepping stone for a lot of people. So but yeah, there are so many people who are awake, and there are so many people who are ready to go, even if they're not at the same level of believing in new earth, etc., like that far, but they're still there, and you know, they will shift quite easily as well, right?
And so what do you see as more problematic, the people who are asleep or the people who are awake but still in fear because they now know about the control and the manipulation and the crimes against humanity?
The people who are awake but who are still living in fear, because they could be helping to get the energy up faster, and they're not, right? So that's really who we want to focus on reaching. And we see you you know, putting the message, and you hear us continually saying the same message, which is, you know, just trust in us, you know, don't buy into the fear. Everything is fine, we have everything taken care of, you know, just, you know, carry on, keep yourself in neutral or you know, higher vibrations, right? The joy, the unconditional love, you know, that kind of thing. We just really want to stress to people that they don't need to be in fear. There's no need to be in fear any longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And it's just, it just makes me feel a little bit sad that people still can't trust that they have a spiritual team who just love and protect them. And you know, it's, while we have our free will, we are so supported and have so much energy accessible to us, and we can easily flip our perspectives from being victim and, you know, worried to empowered and just seeing things from the bigger picture. It's given me so much inner peace knowing everything from your perspective as you so lovingly give it to us, because you know we are wanting to understand all of this nonsense at this point.
Yeah,
um,
that's for sure. And it's given Amy so much inner peace too. And I mean, if she's had one gift that she could, like the biggest gift that she could take away from all this, it's the inner peace that she has gained from seeing the bigger perspective and being able to step away from that fear. And that's what she gained from your sessions. And I mean, we know even the session that we did with her, the last session before this one, you know, the night that she had the accident and that, it brought so much peace to her just to know a specific purpose of what was going on. Because if people can just focus on the purposes and see the bigger picture, right? They can just step away and see, oh yeah, that's why that's happening. That's why that's happening. You know, that's why that's happening. And then, you know, they can really get away from that and be instantly calmed, right? And people are, they are working at it in their own way. It takes some a little bit longer than others. So we don't mean to be you know, sounding, you know, harsh or judgmental, because obviously we're not. We understand it takes some people longer than others, but you know, especially the light workers and the, you know, more the people who consider themselves to be more enlightened beings. We would really like to see more from them in this way, like being able to put that fear behind them, because you know, it is like it is so empowering for them to be able to do that, right? And it just having that inner peace allows them to be able to pass that inner peace on to others, right? And that's really the end game, is just trying to spread as much unconditional love and peace as you can right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so empowering when you do that, because, you know, it feeds and supports and empowers you loving unconditionally other people, because it's just this beautiful energy that comes. So it always surprises me when people haven't quite mastered that. And of course, it's, you know, it's a daily challenge, and, you know, we get to experience so many different things, but, you know, I mean,
Yeah, we just want to remind you too that unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but right now in the world there is a constant stream of it. So anyone who's turning on their TV, and I mean even what is meant to be these awake sites, like we were just talking about, these people, the Charlie Wards and the Simon Parks and the Robert Steele, they are still somewhat promoting that fear, even though they're not intending to. They're keeping people stuck in those same thought patterns, you know, and not allowing them to move on, right? And you know, we really people really need to do that inner work and just be able to trust us, tap in and trust what they're hearing, right? Once they can remove that kind of fear block, they're going to get a lot better information from us to allow them to continue forward, right? So you know, we're there to support and to try to help, and we want you girls to know that we see you doing your work and spreading your light to others. And you are, even just by giving a little reminder to people, you know, to stay out of the fear, you are helping to take those people out of the fear, slowly but surely.
well, you know, when you're trying to support people out of fear with love and try and give them the bigger perspective, I mean, that should be lovingly supported in a group of spiritual people. You think that would be, you know, that would be acceptable. But, you know, I mean, it's just, it's lessons for everyone. Okay, so thank you so much. Really appreciate all of your wisdom and support and love and guidance once again for